Okay, time for another afternoon workout. We're going to keep focusing on getting the spine moving, adding in just a little bit of work on the shoulders, a little bit of work on the hips as well. Okay, so what you need today is a towel, just a hand towel, not a special Pilates towel, just a hand towel. So I'll give you a minute to grab a hand towel. Obviously you need your chair. Once you've got your hand towel, just pop it nearby or on the back of your chair so that you've got it to hand. And then we're going to shuffle our backs all the way back to the back of your chair and start getting the spine moving. So you're going to start leaning back against your chair. In fact, I'll show you side on. And the first thing we're going to do is tuck the chin in. Then we're going to feel the upper back peeling away from the chair and the middle of the back peeling away from the chair, and then you're just going to take the crown of your head all the way down towards the floor, as far down as you can go. Take a breath, and then we're going to come back reversing what you did. So I want you to try and feel your lower back touching the back of the chair, followed by the middle of the back touching the back of the chair all the way through to the shoulder blades, and then if the chair continued up, back of the head would be last to touch it. And the same thing again, tucking your chin, feeling the shoulder blades peel away, and then try to imprint the lower back so that you can then peel that away as well. Take your head all the way down as far as you can go, and then coming back up, imprinting the lower back into the chair, followed by the middle back, followed by the upper back, all the way up. Sitting tall, and we'll do that twice more. Tucking the chin, so it's like you're trying to send your nose towards your belly button. Then when you can't go any closer to it, you're sending the crown of the head towards the floor. And then lower back. Picture the vertebrae stacking up, middle back, upper back, back of the head. One more, tucking the chin, peeling the shoulder blades away, middle back, the lower back, even the back of the pelvis. Then you're going to come all the way up, reversing it, lower back, middle back, upper back, back of the head. The next one we're going to do is very different. Now we're keeping our backs really stable and straight, and you're going to be hinging forward and back instead of rounding your back. So make sure you're not curling over now. You're lifting your chest up. Have your knees just a little bit wider than they were, a bit wider, and your feet flat. So wriggle forward a bit on your chair. Now you're going to hinge forward and come back. Very different. So you're trying to get a deep fold in the front of the hips. You're going to roll more of your weight onto your pubic bone, and then back to the sitting bones, onto the pubic bone, then back to the sitting bones. So your pelvis is tipping and you're getting a deep fold in the front of the hips. Go upstairs, Daddy. Willow. My love. Hinging. Coming back, keep your back really nice and straight. Okay, we're going to come back to those two things. Now I want you to grab your towel. You're going to hold your towel a little bit wider than your shoulders. And you're just going to start lifting the towel up and down whilst you're in your nice upright posture. So your back isn't changing at all. Your shoulder girdle isn't scrunching up towards your ears. There's an internal movement in the shoulders, but it's an internal movement. It isn't the whole shoulder girdle moving upwards. So coming up and down, we're going to stay up. Then we're going to shrug the shoulders up and slide them back down. As you do this, I want you now to start to pull outwards on your towel. So you're pulling quite hard outwards. And that should help you to get the shoulders down. The towel is ever so slightly in front of me. Scrunch up and down. I can just, if I look forward, I can just see the towel in my peripheral vision. Keep pulling outwards on the towel. Scrunch, slide, scrunch, slide. One more. Scrunch, slide. Now you're keeping the shoulders away from the ears. You're pulling outwards on the towel all the time. Do a down and up again. So it's quite a strong outward pull on the towel. Ignore the small person that keeps running around. We all know what it's like at the moment to be in a crowded house. Okay, you're still pulling outwards on your towel. Your arms might be getting a bit tired now if you've got that outwards pull the whole time. On the next one, up. We're going to keep pulling outwards on the towel. We're just going to tap the forehead and then send it up. So 2 things I want you to be thinking about. One is that you're pulling the towel outwards. The second is that your shoulders aren't getting any closer to your ears as the towel goes up. Actually, there's 3 things. You're keeping your arms slightly in front of you the whole time. Make it easier to control the shoulder girdle. Okay, we're going to keep the arms up there. I know they might be getting tired. We're going to separate the feet a little bit further. Then you're going to go over to one side and come back up. Over to one side, come back up. Think of the crown of the head trying to get up towards the middle of your towel the whole time, and the hands trying to pull the towel apart. And don't forget to breathe. I don't think I'm breathing. So let's inhale and exhale. Feet nice and flat. Inhale and exhale. 2 more. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Now we're going to go over again and stay. So keep breathing. We're going to try and, if you go to your left, then you're going to try and reach your left arm a bit further away. Then you're going to reach your right arm further over. Then you're going to check if your right sitting bone is still on the chair. Then we're going to come up. If your arms are getting too tired, you can come down to here. But try and keep them up there. Shoulders down. We go to the right. Your right arm reaches, I think I'm just off the camera now. Right arm reaches away. Left arm reaches over. Left sitting bone is on the chair. And then we come up. Twice more. We go to the left. The left arm reaches further away. The right arm reaches over. The right sitting bone is on the chair. And we come back up. Watch those shoulders. We go over to the right. The right arm reaches further away. The left arm reaches over. The left sitting bone is on the chair. And then we're coming up. Very good. So really decompressing the spine. Working the obliques. Working the spinal muscles. Working the shoulders. Okay, we're going to keep going with the towel. We've got it out in front now. So about maybe just below shoulder height, chest height. Just below chest height. Okay, we can still pull outwards on the towel to give us some work in the shoulders. Feet and knees are about hip width apart. We're going to turn. Might not feel like you get very far, but let's try and lift up tall and keep the in line with the centre of the towel, and then come back to centre. Then the other way. Lifting up tall, chest bone in line with the centre of the towel. So thinking of that all the time, like your middle of your chest is linked to the middle of the towel. Let's try and inhale as we turn, and exhale to come back. Inhale to turn, exhale to come back. Inhale to turn, exhale to come back. Inhale to turn, exhale to come back. One more like that. This time we're going to go across. So we've gone to the left. I want you to pull your left arm a bit further back, but try and keep the chest then in the centre of the towel. Left arm a bit further. Is the chest bone still in the centre? Take a deep breath and then come back. Now we go to the right. Let's stay and breathe and take the right arm a bit further, but take the chest as well. Take the right arm a bit further. Can the chest bone go as well? Right arm a bit further. Chest bone as well. And then come back. Okay, I know your arms might be getting a bit tired. Keep a little bit of outward pull on the hands, shoulders dropped. We're going to go to the left, see how far we can go. And we're going to stay here. Imagine your hands are now, and your towel are your hands are resting on a bar. So your towel's really going to stay really still. And you're just going to dive down with the crown of the head, like we did when we had our back against the chair. We're going to dive down with the nose, and we're going to peel down, diving in between your arms, nose going towards your left hip bone, and then sitting up tall, stacking up tall again, and then back to center. Then we go to the other side, we go to the right. You've made your square with your arms and your towel that's going to stay there whilst you dive down. You peel away from your imaginary wall. Dive down into your square with the crown of the head, looking at your right hip, and then coming back up. Let's do 2 more. We go to the left with the towel. We dive down with the nose and with the crown of the head through the towel, through the arms, and come back up. And last time to the right. You've got your frame. You're going to dive down with the crown of the head through the frame, looking at that right hip bone, and then come back up, and then come back to center. And just relax your arms for a moment. Let me just turn that off. Okay, let's move on to the legs. So put your towel down for a minute. Let's think again about your sitting bones. So you're going to start squeezing the sitting bones and letting them go. The harder your chair is, the more easily you're going to feel what your sitting bones are doing. If not, you can even sit on your hands and try and feel that squeezing. So finding the sitting bones, imagining we're squeezing them together underneath ourselves. We did a bit of that in the last class. Squeezing, okay. Squeezing, letting go. Squeezing, letting go. Then I want you to bring your feet and legs into a V. Let me move the camera so you can see my feet. So I've got the balls of my feet on the balls, my heels together and knees apart. So now what I want you to do is start pushing the thighs back as you squeeze your sitting bones. If I show you side on, you're going back, squeezing the sitting bones, pushing the thighs back. So squeezing the sitting bones, pushing the thighs back. At the same time as the squeezing of the sitting bones, the pushing back of the thighs, you're also going to be squeezing your heels together. So try that. Try to squeeze your heels together, squeeze the sitting bones, and push the thighs back. I'm going to keep that going. If you can press your heels together, it's going to just wake up the line of muscles on the inside of the thighs. Is also going to help us to wake up our glutes at the back. Because as I said in the other class, the feedback you get from your lower legs is going to help to switch on the top of the legs. Not sure what that noise is. Hopefully the children aren't killing each other. Okay, now grab your towel, make it into a little ball, put it between your knees. We're going to now try to keep the squeeze on the sitting bones the whole time. And we're just going to do little pulses. Feet, let's bring the feet together. Towel between your knees. As you squeeze your towel, I also want you to feel like you're drawing your tummy muscles in. So we're going to keep the sitting bones squeezed. A lot to think about. We're going to squeeze the towel and we're going to draw the tummy in. So let's use a breath out to feel the tummy drawing in as you squeeze your towel. We're going to do 5 more. Your sitting bones are just going to want to collapse. So try to keep them pinched together. Couple more. Inner thigh squeeze, tummy muscles drawing in. Doesn't look like there's a lot happening, but I am working quite hard. So now we're going to take the towel away, back to this one, heels together, knees apart, push the heels together, push the knees out as we squeeze the sitting bones. Heels pressed together, pushing the knees back as you squeeze your sitting bones. So you're going to do a little lift as your sitting bones come together. Push those thighs back. Let's do little pulses. Push, push, push. See how far your thighs can go back, really moving from here. You might even want to push your hands, put your hands on the outside of the knees and push the hands in to create some resistance for your thighs to push back. Push, 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 push. I'm still trying to squeeze my sitting bones. And then relax your legs. Pick up your towel. One more thing. I want you to have your towel out in front, so you're pulling it apart to give you some stability in the upper body. You're going to look down, check your feet are about hip width and your knees are above your heels. Now we're going to do something we do lots of times a day, which is get up out of a chair. We're going to stand up and then come back down. What I'm trying to do, and what I want you to try and do, is not only to keep your knees apart, but it's to go back to that hip hinge that we did. So let me show you side on. We did it right at the beginning. You're hip hinging, standing up, hip hinging, coming down, rather than this rounding of the back. So you're going to go bottom out, push through the heels, bottom out, sit down, bottom out, push through the heels, bottom out, sit down. Try, you can look down at your feet, try not to let your knees go too far over your feet. So you're trying not to go all the way over there and come up. We're trying to keep the knees almost directly above your heels. Keep going. It's really good one to practice. I want you to practice this every time you get up out of a chair, every time you get off the toilet, if you're a lady. That you're keeping your knees apart, you're looking down, you're keeping your knees apart, you're not letting your knees go further forward than your ankles, you're pushing down through your heels. And if you did a couple of extra of those, instead of just standing up every time you stood up, you probably find your quads and your glutes got a lot stronger. Right, I said that was the last thing. This is the last thing. Pick up your towel, go back into a hinge, and let's repeat this one. So you've got your hands about a bit wider than your shoulders. You're pulling the towel apart. You're hinging forward, and we're just going up and down. So tighten your tummy, even though you're in your hip hinge, nice flat back. You're taking your towel up and down whilst feeling like you're pulling it apart. So this is the same as we did before, except now we're doing it in a hinge. So it's a little bit more work from your deep back muscles. On the next one, we're going to keep the arms lifted. I'm going to turn, you can stay where you are. And then you're going to bend and stretch. Shoulders aren't coming anywhere near your ears. You're still pulling the towel apart. And you're still hinging forward. So you're sticking your bottom out, drawing the belly button in, if you can think of that as well. A couple more. I'm getting quite tired. And then relax. And put your towel down. Okay. This is the last thing. We're going to stretch out our hip flexors. So like we've done lots of times before in this class, you're turning to face one side. Let's put the right hand on the back of the chair, the right buttock on the chair, the left buttock is off the chair. Now your foot is on the ball, that left foot, and then you're trying to tuck under with your tailbone. So if you're not getting a stretch there, try taking your left foot a bit further back and repeating it, tucking under with your tailbone. When you've got a stretch down the front of that left thigh, you can have a go at reaching your left arm up to the ceiling to intensify the stretch. And we're going to stay there. Left sitting bone tucking under, left hand reaching up to the ceiling. And stay. And then come out of it. And then onto the other side. So right foot back on the ball of that right foot. Left hand on the back of the chair. Left buttock is on the chair. Right buttock is off the chair. Then you're tucking under with that right sitting bone, and you'll feel a strong pull coming through the front of the right thigh. From there, we're reaching the right arm up and staying. Continuing to try and tuck under with the right sitting bone. Reaching the hand up to the ceiling. And breathe. Haven't put my watch on today, so I hope I haven't gone on for too long. Okay. And then come out of it. And then you can just relax into your chair for a moment. Well done.